Hello. Long time no see, no speak, no hear, probably. It's 2024. It's been a long time since I've been on this channel. It is Saturday night, February 3rd, in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand. It's a really windy night, but it's not cold. It is still summertime here. And some changes. I think the last time I probably posted, we were still living down in central Hawke's Bay. We've been in Auckland for nearly 5 years again. And so, we've bought our own home here, and I work in aged care now, and as well as have just finished doing my chaplaincy papers. So that's been a lot of fun. A lot of hard work, but very rewarding. We had 2 dogs previously. We had Sophie, who was a golden lab, and Pickles, who was a little tricolour Cavalier Cocker Spaniel. And sadly, they died a month apart. It was really, really a sad time for us. But 5 years later, we felt that we could have a little pup again. And so next week, Lily, who is a Blenheim Coat tricolour Cavalier Cocker Spaniel, she'll be 2. And we have rescued Buddy. We've had him for the last month. He is a 3-year-old, tan-coloured, black and tan colour rather, Cavalier King Charles too. And they are learning currently about what it is to turn the other cheek, show each other that they know Jesus, and they're going to be kind, and all those things. But we're getting a lot of joy from them. Anyone that is a dog person knows how much unconditional love they give us. Absolutely. So my days are spent working in aged care, doing some chaplaincy work, still very much a church girl, Salvation Army, and looking after 2 little furry rat bags. My kids are all adults now, and Sarah, some of you will know, she is a Paralympian. She is Sarah Ellington, and she is just a miracle girl. So if you want to Google on YouTube her testimony, she's been all around the world cycling. She's just amazing. And the next goal is the Paris Paralympics. Very exciting. And then we have Aaron, who's our oldest, and he is very busy, hoping to do and succeed in doing his owner-operator papers for his own supermarket. He's very dedicated. He's a workaholic like his dad. And he's a real joy. And then we have Ben, who's now 23 years old, and he's done quite a bit of acting since we've been in Auckland. He also has a full-time job and to pay the bills, because in New Zealand you don't get steady work if acting is your profession. You normally have to go abroad. So he is, he's kind of got his finger in a lot of pies. But quite happy. Quite a happy chappy. So so that's what's been going on in our world, and still happily married, and it's all good. And like everywhere in the world, the cost of living is paying a huge effect on everybody, and everybody's having to tighten their purse strings. It's very, very difficult. I'm trying to think in New Zealand what we pay. So this is a New Zealand dollar. If you are lucky, you can get a pound of butter, which is 500 grams, for about $4.40 if it's on special, $4.40. The cheapest loaf of bread that you can buy in New Zealand is $1.29, I believe. That's the cheapest loaf of bread that you can buy, and it's just a very basic budgety bread. When we stick out rubbish, our curbside rubbish, into council bins, we have to buy tickets for those, a label that you have to peel off and stick on your council bin. They're over $5 now too, so just to stick out your rubbish is quite expensive. What else can I tell you? Meat here is very expensive. You normally pay for a whole, if you want to buy a whole cooked chicken from the supermarket, it's a nice hot roast, or whatever they call them, chicken, rotisserie chicken, normally about $14 just for a rotisserie chicken. So things aren't cheap here, but I know that people sort of weigh it up, don't they? The average house price in Auckland is over $1 million, and even down country in smaller places now, the average house price is about $400,000, $500,000. If you want to live in a tiny home, there are no laws yet about that they are very strict still. In New Zealand, they need to work on that. So you can live in a tiny home, you can put it on a piece of land, but it has to be on wheels. It can't be a permanent situation. So I know that around the world they have mobile home communities and all that. We don't have that in New Zealand. That is a temporary thing. Some places might do it for ages over 55 or whatever, where you buy the house, or you buy the little house and then you pay rent on top of that for where you are. But it's not for families. You can't have pets there, or it's not set up for families to do it. So always my dream was to go tiny, and the reason why we bought in Auckland was I'm going to cough. That's not why we bought in Auckland. Was so that we could, at least when it came time to retire, that we would have some collateral in some property, in the hope that should we have to sell because we cannot afford a mortgage once we retire, not that we're going to be retiring at the retirement age, we're going to have to keep on working, we would have some collateral, and then we'll be deciding then what we're going to do. So what can I tell you? A lot of you knew about COVID, and COVID's still in our country, and thankfully we have had a limited amount of deaths. We still have some people believe in COVID as a COVID pandemic. Other people believe that it is just a flu. It shouldn't even be called COVID, and it was scaremongering. And you get that all over the world. You get people that believe what they believe. I will tell you this, for myself, just myself, I have had COVID twice, and both times I have never been so sick in all my life. And since having COVID, I know that I seem to pick up flus very quickly, where I was very fortunate. I'd get colds, but I wasn't a girl that got flu. And so we've noticed that. Even my husband, who never had a day off sick till he was about 55, he was amazing. Even he's noticing, like, we pick up more bugs with COVID in the year. And for some people, they're sick of hearing the word, and that's okay. But certainly working in aged care, I have seen people die from COVID. I have not seen them die from a normal bacterial flu, certainly not in a rest home. And I have seen them die of COVID, and it's been very sad. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I love my job. I love looking after old people. Some people, old people is not their thing. It is definitely my thing. They bless my cotton socks off. They are good people. They are life rich. They have things to tell you. And if you look at an older person as somebody who just has more life experience than you, it will be different life experience, but it's still more different than what you've lived often. And they things that they found funny when they were 18 or 20 years old, they still find funny when they're 95, 100 years old. They still have the same wicked sense of humour that they had when they were younger. Some people struggle to go and visit elderly people, and it might be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be the embarrassment of saying, look, I promised to go and say hello, and I haven't been. Now it's been months, it's been years, it's too embarrassing. I don't want to go and see them because, I mean, just how embarrassing. I promised I'd go and I didn't go. People are still going to love to see you anyway. So get any doubt out of your head. And even if for some reason they don't recognize you, they are still going to love the fact that you visited them. And if you think, what am I going to talk about? Especially if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, and you think, how am I going to engage with these people? Take a photo album, take some music, take an old magazine, take some poetry, take the newspaper, take whatever you want, because all you're doing that's very simple but so life rich for them, for the situation that they're in, is bringing the world to them and making the world bigger again for them. Because, aged care, it does the best that it can, but it's still a certain amount of institutionalism that goes on, because their world gets small, they choose to stay indoors, they choose to not participate in things, especially if they've had a fall. And it's just so important to, if you've got it in you and you think, oh, I want to, I just don't know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do, take something with you. And don't ask them a lot of questions. Like, ask them questions if you feel like the conversation's going to go backwards and forwards. But if you feel like that's not going to happen, don't sit there expecting them to answer you, or you really have to be the one that brings the life to the situation until you can see what the situation is, and do that. And just love on people. Love them. See them for what they are. Don't look at them for how they used to be, because this isn't their decision. This, especially if they're coping with a disease, this hasn't been their decision. They haven't thought, oh, one day I just want to have a geriatric disease and just want to pitter my life out and forget who you all are. This has not been their decision. And thankfully, most of them aren't aware that it's happening. You're aware of it. And what you need to do is celebrate who they still are, because their personality will be different. They may look a little bit different. They might not, their eyes might not flicker when they see you. But if you're going there and you're going from a place of love and you just want to leave them a little bit better than when you found them, then go on you. It's the best thing you can do. So for 2024, I want to encourage you to bring joy to people. Bring joy to their lives. I think for the last few years we've talked about kindness. People have forgotten about kindness. People struggled with kindness. Did you notice that? Like, there was kindness to begin with. People stay locked away and they wash their hands and all that. Oh, it's all gone out the window now. But can we find joy? Can we leave people with joy? Can we look at actually making somebody's day a little bit happier because you didn't put them down, you said a kind word, you remembered your manners, and you looked for the gems and you shared them with someone else. Challenge. Challenge accepted. All right, over and out. That's all for me. God bless, Turtle Pips. And for those of you that always want to know how Kiwis say aluminium instead of, I've got to think about it, aluminum, or however you say it, we say aluminium. All right, Turtle Pips. Bye.